Hey guys, I just want to give a quick update on the Gayali S-993A. Um, Something didn't seem right about this, about its temperatures and that it couldn't seem to perform at all. And so what I ended up doing was taking it apart, as you can see here. I saw there was two adjustments, as you can see in this picture here, and what I did was I hooked up a temperature probe that was pretty accurate, and I modified those terminals there, those two terminals. I did it very slowly, and if you do this, I recommend to do it very slowly because it has quite the effect. At one point, I got up to 500 degrees Celsius and had to turn it back down because I was worried it would actually break the thermals on it. After doing this, you can see it actually performed fairly well. You can see it cleaned up most of the solder, taking it off. And this was lead-free solder on a smaller board, and I was able to pretty easily remove the device. With the larger boards, it still worked with lead solder, but wasn't as good with lead-free solder. It struggled to the point where it didn't really work at all. My thought there is that you would either need to mix the lead-free solder on a larger board with lead solder to try to lower its melting point, or heat up the whole board so the whole board doesn't act as a heat sink, and use something like a BGA rework station to try to get it up to closer to the temperature so you can actually melt the solder more efficiently. Also, David in the comments had a good point and tip, and that was not to use the vacuum until you noticed the solder had actually melted, because this could reduce the temperature of the solder if you held down on the vacuum, and it would not be able to vacuum it up. I appreciate David leaving that in the comments as a tip. As a safety note, I wanted to mention that when I took this apart, I saw a big solder ball on the inside of the handle, which did concern me because it could lead to a short on this device. I was able to remove it using a soldering iron and a wick, and it melted the plastic a little bit, but it was okay, and I was able to scrape off any extra solder that was left behind. So if you are going to buy this as a much less expensive alternative, I would recommend at least opening it up and checking it, because I think they may have some quality assurance issues with manufacturing of these devices. So if you do happen to buy this, and I think it's a bit of a risk buying this, but two things. One, make sure you open it up and check the safety of this device. Make sure it looks okay on the inside. And two, if you're not getting the performance, maybe you can modify the same settings I did and get the same results. In the end, I do think this is a much less expensive alternative to the other solutions. And yeah, if you're okay with those risks, I'd go ahead and buy it. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe.